My wife let me foe a coworker, but it turns out he's loser. I'm 32 years old and have been married for almost 6 years. My wife is 27, and we've been together for a little over 8 years. We moved in together 7 years ago. In my eyes, everything between us had always been perfect. I genuinely believed we were an ideal couple. We both have good jobs, stable finances, and our own cars. 5 years ago, we even bought a house. Then, in February 2022, my mother suddenly passed away from a heart attack. It was devastating. The months that followed were some of the hardest in my life, and not just for me, but for my wife as well. She was very close to my mom. And when I say hard, I mean really fucking hard. In 6 months, we only went out together a couple of times. Mostly, we just sat at home, glued to the couch, watching television. I was miserable, but I kept telling myself we'd get through it. Then came day, as I call it, 5 weeks ago. My wife went out to drink with 3 male colleagues at a bar near our house. I figured, all right, fine. I went to bed early. At around 3:30 a.m., she came home with all 3 of them. I knew those guys, but I didn't like it. She told me they were heading into the city. That didn't sit right with me, but what the hell was I supposed to do? All the bars closed at 4 a.m., and our place was only a 15-minute drive away. Yet, she didn't come home until 5:30 a.m. That's when I started getting suspicious, though. Before that night, I had trusted her completely. 4 weeks ago, on a Sunday, she left for the whole day, saying she was going to a fair with her mom. I didn't buy it, but what could I do? She didn't even say goodbye, just slipped out while I was in the shower. When she finally came home, she was in tears. My first instinct was to comfort her. "Come here, babe. What's wrong? Talk to me." And the first thing out of her mouth, "I want a divorce." We had an emotional conversation. I asked her straight up if she had cheated on me. She swore she hadn't. She said she'd been unhappy for a long time and wanted out. That was news to me. She never gave me the slightest hint that anything was wrong in our marriage. I was completely blindsided. After that conversation, she moved out, went to live with her mom. 4 days later, I saw her again because of our dog. Neither of us could keep him, so he's staying with my aunt for now. That's when I asked her again if she had cheated. And this time, she confessed. She had been fucking that guy all week from the night she went out with her coworkers until the day she left. She told me she thinks she's in love with him. I asked, "What's so special about him?" Her answer, "He has a spark." Well, fuck me, I guess. She also told me she feels like she's going through some kind of midlife crisis. Doesn't know what she's doing, doesn't know what she wants. And honestly, she's acting like she's lost her goddamn mind. Dyed her hair purple, signed up for motorcycle lessons, and completely erased me from her life in the span of a week. I tried God. I tried to talk to her, to see if there was any chance we could fix this. But she ignored every message that wasn't about logistics. When she did respond, her messages were cold and dismissive, as if I was some random nobody she barely knew. She treats me like I never even existed, like I'm a piece of shit she scraped off her shoe. Is this some kind of defense mechanism to help her cope with the breakup? Or has she actually changed into this completely different person overnight? How the hell is that even possible? Yeah, I get it, falling for someone new can be exciting. But what's going to happen in a few months when the honeymoon phase with this guy wears off? When reality kicks in? Right now, I'm caught between 2 extremes. Part of me still wants to fix things, but another part of me just wants to cut my losses and move the fuck on. 5 weeks have passed since she left, and neither of us has officially filed for divorce. But I'm almost certain she's still seeing that guy. I don't even know what I want anymore. If I file now, will I regret it later? Will I look back and think I was too hasty? But at the same time, how long can I keep living in this limbo? Technically, we're still married, but in reality, she's already gone. The first 4 days after she left were the worst. I didn't know if she had cheated or not, and I blamed myself. Thought maybe I had done something wrong. But once she admitted to the affair, that guilt started to fade. Maybe I wasn't perfect, but if our marriage is over, that's 100% on her. She never showed any signs of being unhappy. She always looked happy. I guess she would have made a damn good actress. She never said anything was wrong, never hinted that something needed to change. And yet, she cheated. She's still cheating. That's it. I don't believe there's anything left to save. Hell, at this point, I don't even miss her. Honestly, I feel sorry for the next guy, whoever he is, because eventually she's going to shatter his heart just like she did mine. Strangely enough, I'm handling my mother's death better than I expected. Sure, I've got other shit to deal with now, but I had started pulling myself out of that darkness. I wanted to go out, drink, enjoy life, ride my bike again. And then just like that, she shoved me right back into the pit. No mom, no wife. My dad is now alone after 40 years of marriage. But we'll get through it. Life moves on. And eventually, things will get better. At least I have a great sister and friends who've been by my side for over 20 years. I'm not ready to throw myself back into single life. But part of me is curious. It's been over 8 years since I went on a date. Over 8 years since I made plans without checking in with a partner. This year has hit me like a truck, but deep down, I know better days are coming. One of the comments I read about my situation really stuck with me. We got married too young. I was 26, she was 21. I don't think I've changed much over the years, but maybe she has. Maybe she's been suppressing her feelings for a long time. She even said it herself, she feels like she's going through a midlife crisis. Those are her words, not mine. Since we're going into details, let me paint a clearer picture of what our life together was actually like. I mentioned that we had a stable life, but I didn't go into much depth. Maybe I should have. Hobbies and interests. We both love video games, but ironically, we never actually played together. These days, I'm into Age of Empires 4 on PC, while she was more into The Witcher on PS4. We enjoyed watching Netflix together, especially after my mom died. But even before that, we were the kind of couple that preferred staying in with a good movie rather than going out drinking. We'd go to the movies once or twice a month, hit a nice restaurant now and then. We both love motorcycles, or at least, I thought we did. I've had my license for years, and I own my own bike. She always loved riding behind me. Her dad used to take her for rides when she was little, so she had this nostalgic love for it. Turns out, now she suddenly wants to get her own license and buy her own bike. Never mentioned it to me, though. We also spent a lot of time with family. Every second Sunday, we'd either be at her mom's, her dad's, or my dad's. We enjoyed nature, taking our dog on long walks through forests, exploring beautiful places. Personality and relationship. I always liked her impulsiveness, or at least, I used to. Maybe it was a flaw all along. I tend to overthink things. Before making any big purchase, I'd analyze every factor. Do we really need this? What's our budget? Meanwhile, she'd just buy it on the spot, book a vacation without a second thought. It used to be something I loved about her. Now, I'm not so sure. We had a great sense of humor together. Dry, sometimes ridiculous, but always in sync. Even now, I think that connection still exists somewhere. She used to be honest and straightforward, at least. I thought she was. She always told me what she liked and didn't like. For example, about 4 years ago, I got a little too caught up in gaming. She actually sat me down and told me, "Hey, this is making me unhappy. I need more from you." I listened. I cut back on gaming, prioritized our relationship. I loved the way she talked, the way she walked, the way she laughed. I even loved the way she sneezed 8 to 10 times in a row, every damn time. But now, those feelings are fading fast. Intimacy and sex life. Keeping this part brief. We weren't very active in that department. Since we got married, it averaged about twice a month. But as far as I was concerned, it was good. I don't know if she felt the same way. We both always finished unless she was faking it, but I don't think she was. The only thing is, it wasn't particularly exciting. Same 3 or 4 positions, nothing groundbreaking. Update. First steps toward divorce. Yesterday, I made a few calls. Here in the Netherlands, we have mediator specialists who handle everything related to divorce, from legal and financial matters to emotional support. It's basically a neutral third party who helps both people navigate the process. So, yeah, this is happening. Meeting with the mediator. Today, we had our first meeting with the mediator. Unfortunately, my soon-to-be ex-wife's car broke down, so guess what? I had to pick her up. Yeah, I actually had to do that. If we want this divorce to go through smoothly, we both need to be present for these sessions. So, I sucked it up and did it. The conversation went pretty much as expected. We both stated our reasons for wanting a divorce, but her cheating was never mentioned. The mediator stays neutral and doesn't take sides, so I didn't see the point in bringing it up. Besides, in the Netherlands, infidelity has no legal consequences. She has the same rights as if she had never cheated at all. Once the mediator left, we sat there in silence. The only sound in the room was our cats running around. After a few minutes, I asked her, "Do you have anything else to say?" She just shook her head. Number. So I said, "All right then, I think you should go." I didn't want her staying in my house any longer than necessary. She looked at me and asked, "Okay, can you drive me home?" Number. How she gets home is her problem. I had no desire to waste another 30 minutes of my time driving her back. That seemed to shake her a little. She actually got emotional. I think she expected me to give in, because I always used to take care of her. Not this time. She called her mom, who said she'd come pick her up in about an hour. So my wife got up, grabbed her things, and said, "I'll go for a walk while I wait." When she walked out the door, she still looked hurt, still looked emotional. And me? I'm keeping my cool, but I can't ignore the weirdness of her behavior. It's like she's still lost in this affair fog, completely disconnected from reality. Despite everything, I still love the woman she used to be. But the person she is now? I treat her like she means nothing to me. Should I expose her? Now, onto something that's been on my mind. First, some background. I used to work for a transport company, let's call it Supertrans, for 11 years. About 4 months ago, I left for a better job. My wife still works there. She joined about a year and a half ago, working in the office. I was a driver. I also know her affair partner. Let's call him L. He works in the warehouse at Supertrans. Since I was there for over a decade, I know everyone in that office. People liked me. Hell, some of the dispatchers were my closest friends. I know my former colleagues are aware that my wife and I are divorcing. But as far as I can tell, nobody knows she cheated her, that she cheated with L, who still works there. Now, here's the part that matters. Thomas. Thomas is 32, works in the office, and sits right next to my wife. He was also there the night she cheated. But unlike her, he left early. My wife is currently on vacation. She goes back to work Monday. I'm seriously considering messaging Thomas and telling him the truth. Not just about my wife's affair, but also about La, because Thomas was in the same group that night. I want him to know exactly what kind of person she is. Why? He has to work with her every day. He should know what kind of person he's dealing with. I want him to know the truth about Elle. Because let's be real, is just as much of a scumbag as she is. Yes, maybe I want revenge. I won't lie. This woman destroyed my life. If her work life gets uncomfortable for her, well, tough shit. Look, I know this might seem petty, and yeah, maybe it is, but she wrecked my marriage and tore my life apart. If I found out on Monday that all her coworkers knew what she did, I wouldn't feel bad at all. In fact, I'd probably enjoy it. At the end of the day, I decide who I tell about the affair, not her. So, what do you think? Is this a bad idea, or is it completely justified? Let me know your thoughts. Update. Second reflection. First off, I just want to say the support I've received has been incredible. Seriously, I didn't expect to feel this much better after just 6 weeks. That said, I've been thinking a lot about my wife's current behavior. Is it normal for her to be treating everyone around her like garbage? Obviously, she treats me like shit, zero respect. Like I was the worst husband on the planet. She even claims she was unhappy for years, which is absolute bullshit. But she's also cold and dismissive to everyone else except for Elle, and probably her parents. At this point, I honestly don't even care what she does anymore. She's destroying herself, not just me. At this point, I've come to realize she's not just wrecking my life, she's wrecking her own, and she's dragging other people down with her. My dad sent her one of the kindest, most heartfelt messages he's probably ever written, and she didn't even bother to respond, not even a simple thank you. This is the same man she used to take to the amusement park all the time after my mom died. They had season passes and would go there together regularly. He genuinely loved her, and now I'm watching him age before my eyes, and it fucking hurts. But she doesn't care. She just ignored him. She also once said she wanted to stay good friends with my younger sister. Guess what? She hasn't spoken to her in weeks. Then, There's her best friend who's also our mutual friend. They had plans to spend the day together shopping, having fun, just hanging out. But instead, she ghosted her. Her best friend texted her multiple times yesterday to confirm their plans, no response. Not even a read receipt. No calls answered. Today? Same thing. She just vanished. Her best friend even took a day off work to be with her, and she spent the whole day crying on her couch because my wife just ignored her. At this point, I don't give a shit what my wife does. I've washed my hands of her. But treating her best friend like that? After everything? That's just cruel. Is this normal for someone deep in an affair fog? That's the real question. Is this normal behavior for someone who's completely lost in the fog of infidelity? Or is this something worse? Because right now, it seems like she's shutting out every except for Elle, obviously, and maybe her parents. I already know she's lying to people. She's telling everyone that we fell out of love and that she's been unhappy for years, which is complete bullshit. Her best friend literally lived with us for 6 months, from November 2021 to April 2022. During that time, my wife and her best friend talked about everything, even the most intimate details of our relationship. So, I asked her best friend straight up, did my wife ever say she was unhappy in our marriage? Her answer? Not once. Never. Not a single time did my wife ever mention being unhappy. So now there are only 2 possibilities. She's lying now to justify her cheating. She was hiding her unhappiness from everyone, including herself. Honestly, I don't fucking know. But I never saw any signs that she was unhappy, and her best friend agrees. I hope karma gets her. I've been honest with everyone who's asked me why we're divorcing. I tell them straight up. She's a selfish cheater. Yesterday, our mutual friend showed me a text exchange between her and my wife. Here's how it went. Friend: oh my god, is it true? You and my name broke up? Wife: yeah, unfortunately, it's true. Friend: oh no, what happened? Wife: you know, we just fell out of love over the years. We have different goals in life. We decided to separate. That's it. That's the lie she's telling everyone. Of course, I immediately told our friend the truth that my wife cheated, claimed she fell in love, and ran off with another guy. Every single person who hears the truth, shock. Nobody, including Meaver, thought she was capable of this. Update 3. I've let her go. I'm fine, more than fine. The moment I realized she was truly gone, I started living my own life again. I've had a few conversations with my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I've come to a conclusion. She did love me, but she got bored of our marriage. Honestly, that's not surprising. My mom's sudden death in February changed everything. She claims she's in love with Elle, but without commitment. She even told me, I wasn't unhappy with you. I was just unhappy in general. And that's when it clicked. This is what really happened. She cheated on me. She caught feelings for Elle. She ran off to be with him. Simple as that. Once I understood that, I made my own choice though, let her go and focus on myself. At this point, I don't care what she does. I don't care if she comes back or not. She's not my problem anymore. I'll be fine no matter what. At work, I'm thriving. I signed up for a gym membership and go 3 times a week. My muscles are sore as hell, but honestly, it feels good. I also reconnected with an amazing woman I've known since childhood. Nothing romantic, just friendship, but I'm genuinely grateful to have someone I can talk to about everything. She lost her father last year, so we understand each other, even in that pain. So yeah, I'm doing okay. The divorce is moving forward. We had to gather a ton of documents, but everything is now in the mediator's hands. We're just waiting for the next meeting to be scheduled. At this point, I've fully accepted reality. The divorce is happening. Whether my ex comes back or not doesn't matter anymore. Our marriage is over. Update 4. 4 days until it's official. In just 4 days, we'll sign the divorce papers and finalize everything. It's been about 4 months since my last update, and I've made some mistakes, but I've also taken steps to regain my strength and self-respect. Now, 5 months after the initial shock, I can finally say my ex's cheating barely crosses my mind anymore. To anyone going through heartbreak, please believe me. It gets better. I made mistakes, but I grew from them. At first, I was a mess. I begged her. I tried to reason with her. I got angry, then frustrated, then completely emotionally wrecked. For 2 months, I felt like I was losing my mind while she acted insane. Then, I made a decision of more self-pity. I told her that I had thought things through, and while I was open to talking, I couldn't guarantee anything. Then I did something even better. I stopped reaching out. For the last 3 months, I've only contacted her for divorce, financial matters, or our house. I changed myself, instead of waiting for change. I'm 32, and for the first time in my life, I started hitting the gym seriously. I train 4 times a week. It's been 3 months, and I've seen real results. I feel stronger, healthier, and more confident than I ever did before. At first, the gym was just a distraction. Now, it's a lifestyle. If you're struggling, exercise helps physically and mentally. I'm keeping the house. I talked to the bank and secured a loan. Yes, I have to pay my ex-wife $65,000, but once I do, I'll own the house outright. The house is worth $300,000, so long-term, I'm winning. Meanwhile, she officially has no home. Right now, she lives with her mom. But let's be real, she's probably still crashing at Elle's place most of the time. How do I know? Well, karma is already catching up to her. We have a mutual friend, not someone we used to hang out with, but someone we both regularly talk to. From what I've learned, my ex threw herself headfirst into her new relationship with Elle. At first, it seemed like they were doing great. But now, Elle is miserable. He's depressed and spending all his time at home. He's unemployed. Their relationship is falling apart. I know all this because our mutual friend showed me text messages between Elle and my ex. From the very beginning, I knew I was better than him. Not out of arrogance, I just knew. He had no morals. He had no character. And now, he has nothing. I was right and it feels good. My ex is losing everything, and I can't lie, it validates everything I've felt. She thought she was walking into some fairy tale. Instead, she threw her life away for nothing. And me? I'm doing better than ever. I was right about him. But it's worse than I thought. Turns out, Elle is exactly the loser I always knew he was. But the worst part? He's dragged my ex into something that could completely destroy her. According to our mutual friend, Elle introduced her to hard drugs. I haven't confronted her about it. Not my problem. If she wants to ruin her life, that's on her. But from what I hear, things are spiraling fast. She's struggling, and maybe even regretting it. I'm pretty sure my ex is having a hard time, maybe even questioning her decisions. We didn't talk or see each other over the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, nothing. But about a week after New Year's, she randomly texted me, "Are you home? Can I stop by?" She came over, but only for 5 minutes. She wanted to tell me that she spent Christmas alone, crying. She asked how my holidays went, how I was doing. I told her the truth, it was fine, but not great. Losing my mom last year made the holidays tough. So yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I was doing just fine overall. And that's the truth. Still, the whole thing felt strange. The only explanation I can think of? She's feeling regret. Time will tell. Even her mom knows she's falling apart. A few days after New Year's, my ex's mommy, former mother-in-law, called me. She just wanted to wish me well and check in on me. Honestly, I didn't expect it. But it was nice to hear from her. She was family for the last 8 years. And during our conversation, she confirmed what I already suspected. My ex isn't doing well. She's depressed. She cries all the time. She's grieving the end of our marriage. Apparently, she even told her mom, "I didn't want things to turn out like this." So yeah, she has doubts. But you know what? That's not my problem. If she wants to fix anything, that's on her. And so far, she hasn't done anything about it. I gave her exactly what she asked for. I left her life. I gave her the divorce she wanted. I moved on. 4 days until it's official. In 4 days, we'll sign the final divorce papers. And that's it. Even though I'm doing great, I'm still human. Sometimes, I miss my marriage. Sometimes, I miss the person she used to be. It hurts to see what she's turned into. But I also know this. It's out of my hands. It's not my responsibility. It's not my problem. Final thoughts. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me through this. I wouldn't be where I am physically and mentally without that support. Now, I just focus on moving forward. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe, leave a like, and have a great day.